Japan is home to some of the best ramen you'll probably ever eat in your life, and today I'm gonna be brutally rating 3 different meals at 3 different budgets, all claiming to be the best in 3 different ways. We'll be starting with the best cheap ramen location, and we'll be working our way up to our expensive location, which is the highest rated ramen restaurant in Tokyo. So let's start. Location 1, it might not be the classiest locations by no means, but after doing extensive research online for budget ramen, there was one item that seem to come up multiple times, and that's this product right here. This ramen is said to be the best budget ramen in Japan, and I want to find out why. I've never really been a fan of instant ramen, so I really hope this gives us a worthy experience. Let's open this up and see what we're working with. Okay, I'll be honest, why does this look like it's been deceased for the past 47 years? It seems to contain spices, ramen, tofu, vegetables, and dehydrated ground meat. So let's rehydrate this and bring this back to life. I'm just gonna give it a few moments to perform self-resurrection, but in the meantime, let's open up this mystery seasoning packaging and pour it all over the noodles. Okay, tell me why this looks like the tears of my enemies. This doesn't really look safe for human consumption. I'm guessing it's some form of spicy chili oil. Okay, I've mixed it all together now. Here's how it's looking. What do you think? Here's a little close-up for you. Not the most appetizing, but let's give it a taste test. Okay, this kind of just tastes like spicy noodles. The noodles, they don't really do a good job at coating the broth, so I'm just gonna take a sip of the broth and see how this tastes. Okay, you know what? It's not bad. The ramen broth presents a blend of rich miso and sweet vegetable flavors, followed by a noticeable but not overwhelming heat from the red peppers. The overall balance of the flavors is alright, but it does get quite sickening the more you eat it. It's time to up the budget because I'm kind of fed up of eating instant ramen, so our next location is Ramen no Bombo. Why is this location considered the best, you ask? Well, this was recommended to me by a friend I made in Japan. So let's go inside and order because I'm cold, wet, and hungry. The golden triangle to creating a miserable man. This place looks really cozy. It seems like the ideal place to warm your insides after being pissed on by Mother Nature. I'm gonna order 1 regular ramen, and they seem to have a couple of seasoning items here. I'm kind of thirsty, so I'm just gonna pour a glass of water as well. Okay, our food has just arrived, and how beautifully presented. There's thinly sliced pieces of pork with spring onions on top. It's very simple. I'm a man who can appreciate simplicity. Not everything in life has to be overcomplicated. I want to start off by trying the pork slices out. Okay, right, the pork's very delicious, very tender, very meaty. It doesn't seem to be seasoned, but it tastes great by itself because of its natural saltiness. Okay, now let's try this ramen out. If I could describe the feelings I'm feeling right now, it would be comparable to that of drinking hot chocolate in a well-insulated room on Christmas Day while watching the snow outside. The broth is very meaty and lightly seasoned, which I really like. It's not overpowering and it complements the freshness of the vegetables and the saltiness of the pork slices very well. I'm really liking this, and a way to show food appreciation in Japanese culture is by slurping on your noodles. Okay, I want to try this red powder and paste out and see how it changes the dish. This right here is the perfect example of why the grass isn't greener on the other side. I single-handedly ruined something so beautiful and tried to change its natural form by introducing something that taints its beauty. This completely transforms the dish into something so different. I'm so sorry, ramen. I can't believe I did this to you. But you know what? At least I have our memory of when times were better. But I think it's time I move on to the next location, and that is the highest rated and most expensive one on the list. Okay, the value of this dish is more than double the value of the previous one, and almost 8 times the value of the first one. Kikambo is the highest rated ramen restaurant in Tokyo, so my expectations right now are very high. Here you have to order prior to entering, and you're greeted with this vending machine-like machine, and to make my life easier, they've put a big #1 sticker next to this item, so I guess I'm ordering the big double pork one. Okay, I'm pretty confident in my choice of food, but wait a minute. Please tell me why there's at least 40 40 people in front of me waiting to eat at this tiny restaurant. You know what? This is actually a good sign. If this many people are willing to wait this long to eat here, I'm convinced it has to be good. A place that's created not only loyal, but also patient customers says a lot about the restaurant. I decided to go for hot spice level and medium for Sancho pepper. After 40 minutes of waiting, I've successfully infiltrated the inside base of operations. And all that waiting has made me exert a lot of precious calories, so I'm really looking forward to eat. Okay, this looks interesting. We seem to have 2 huge pork pieces with a spicy broth, vegetables with a black mysterious liquid that looks like it could be a potential threat if consumed. Enough waiting, let's just try this out. Oh wow, guys. I feel reborn. I feel cleansed from my sins, and I feel like all evil in this world can be forgiven after consuming that noodle. The deep sense of emptiness that I was feeling prior to taking that bite is no longer, because I feel whole again. If you're an individual that's looking to find themselves, this is the location for you. No amount of self-work or self-improvement will ever come close to attaining the feeling that you'll get from putting this ramen into your mouth. The pork pieces are thick, fatty, juicy, and extremely tender. It literally melts in your mouth and soaks up all the spices of the broth. This has to be one of the best pieces of meat that has ever touched my mouth. There are literally no words capable of describing the flavors of this dish. It's spicy, rich, and delivers an explosion of flavor with every bite. The bean sprouts and the mini corn gives the dish a very nice crunch and freshness, and if perfect exists, this is it. And that is why, location number 3, you are my best ramen restaurant in Japan.